52 degrees north here. I'm going to show you today how I've attempted to make a tropical house on a budget, and I'll run you through a few principles of what I did. So it's a polytunnel, 4x2 polytunnel with a solar panel that charges a battery in this red box. It's actually a box, cardboard box with a red lid on. The lid's just to stop water dripping down on the battery. So the solar panel charges the battery, and for a charge controller in this makeshift electrical box, and then at 22 degrees a thermostatic switch turns this extractor fan on, and that blows air from underground, and that air gets extracted from the top of the polytunnel. So at 22 degrees hot air starts to be sucked down under the ground, and under the ground there is a insulated pit that's about 3 meters by 1.5 meters, and it's about 1 meter deep, and this pipe concertinas over 2 levels, and then comes out over here, and that's called an earth battery. And so what you're doing in the autumn is you're charging up the earth, heating up the earth, and storing that warmth for the winter. Another major thing that we can do is insulation, and you'll have to forgive me, I'm no builder, but I managed to fit insulation, retrofit insulation into the polytunnel, and the way I managed to do it is to cut the boards to size, poke a hole through with the cutter, and hold it there with a cable tie. I then drilled holes, piloted holes into the frame, and then fitted this 2x1 onto it. So this is mainly winter protection, and these panels here that aren't like full, these are summer protection. So when the sun's up in this region up here, it's too hot in here, so this section is really just for shading out the summer heat, and then when the sun's lower in the sky, the light then comes and reflects off this wall, and then also in the winter, because we've covered about 75% of the area in here, only the south face, because we live in the northern hemisphere, and this south face is open to let the light of the sun in. And this board is cheap. The wood is more expensive than this insulation board, and so I'll explain about these barrels as well. So these barrels are set into the ground. These are 100-litre water barrels, semi-submerged into the ground, and they store heat, and then they'll emit the heat into the ground, and also the ground will insulate them as well. So they really work, and so much so I've experimented between the barrels with a Musa Super Dwarf Cavendish. So I've got 2 barrels, and between them I planted the Musa Dwarf Super Dwarf Cavendish. If it gets really cold in the winter, I can just put a pole between the 2 barrels and put protection between it, and the radiant heat between these 2 barrels should be enough to keep it going. If we get really cold weather, then it'll die, but I've got plenty of them, so it doesn't matter. I'll show you a few other things that we've got growing on here. We'll just start at the front entrance. So there's a pineapple, but we'll go back to that in a second. So we've got a mandarin there. The biggest citrus I have. It's doing really well. I don't know what the variety on that one is. It doesn't say. No, that's the type 1 guava. There's a pineapple that I had this summer. We've got sapodilla or sapodilla, some orange grumachema. They don't look in the best of health, but they are pushing growth. So they're liking the autumn temperatures where it's slightly cooler. So there's the orange grumachema, and we've got the dwarf grumachema. Then we've got some semi-hardy artocarpus. These ones are called quaimuk. Just repotted them, so they're looking a little bit sorry for themselves, but they've repotted into 2-litre pots from 9cm pots. We've got an array of Suriname cherries. We've got a fig, Nordabellone, replanted the strawberry guava because I took out a load of mulch that was in here. It's this municipal compost. It's no good for growing in. It's like peat-free sort of compost. I bought loads of it. It's no good for growing in, so I took all of that out. I replaced put some sand in the ground, put a bit of activated charcoal in the ground. I put a bit of volcanic rock dust, and then I put some seaweed, and then I put a mulch of bark everywhere. And I tell you what, it smells better in here, it feels better in here, and I think the strawberry guava and the lemon guava although I replanted them, I think they'll do a lot better, they'll grow a lot quicker. So that's the lemon guava over there. And so we've got rose apples here. There's 28 of them. I think 2 of them have died, but there's 28 of them. We'll see which ones will survive over the winter. I think this one's looking pretty healthy, and this one's looking pretty healthy. But the thing is that again, these autumn temperatures in here are pushing growth now. These tropicals are really sort of liking, even though nighttime temperatures are getting down to 14 degrees in here. It's the tropicals are really sort of liking it. These warm sunny days, it's about 28 in here at the moment. Humidity's high because of it being autumn as well, so this is what these tropicals really like. So about 28 degrees, high humidity, that's perfect. We've got a pineapple here. That's about as big as it'll get. It might plump up a little bit, but it won't turn much bigger than that. But they are delicious, although they're tiny. We've got an array of cherimoya, a volunteer passiflora. I'm not sure which one it is. It could be a sweet granadilla, because I've had that in the past. So, and then we've got some pineapple tops, and we've got 4 starfruit. Never managed to make starfruit survive over the winter, so we'll see what's going on with that. Ice cream bean, Ingetulis. We've got a couple of them, a couple of small ones as well. Something's chewing on that one. There's a couple more in the back there. Then we've got the Natal plum. Some call it the natal plum. The num num, that's from South Africa. Carissa macrocarpa, and then we've got a load of guavas. Probably the guavas that are of most interest are these ones. I believe it's called Piscinium Guineas, the Brazilian guava. Quite rare where we are, so yeah, that's what we've got going on. And then the other thing is that we finished all the main crops on the fig, and the third crop of figs looks like it's ripening up nicely. It's too hot in here for me, but that's what I attempted to do to make a tropical house on the cheap. I mean, all in all, I think it cost me about £400, but the idea is that it's off the grid. You don't have to put any energy into it other than a little bit of time putting it together, and then when the solar panel's working, the fans are working, you're storing heat, you're capturing heat, and yeah, this has survived 200-mile-an-hour storms so far, and several 60-mile-an-hour plus storms, so it's stood the test of time. And we'll see if we can get the banana to grow over the winter. That'd be cool. Cheers guys.